Hello everybody, I'm Lobaroda and welcome to part 7 of the EX challenge run for the Code of Brawl event. I played through the first stages already and you can find this on the link on top, and I also played the normal stages and you can find this in a link in the description box below. And for the normal stages I did some self-imposed challenges on me, like using only ranged characters, using only melee characters, using only a certain amount of characters, because the stages were easier and I wanted to make something a bit different than just a guide on which characters to use. For the EX challenge run I tried to explain a bit more what kind of strategies you can use, what's the main difficulty of the stages and how you can play around this. But since the stages are a lot harder, being E2 for most of them as a requirement or recommended level, it's a bit harder in general, right? So let's jump into stage 7 and see what we're up against, because that was already a very tough one. Morning exercise is the stage and you can see I have a full squad with me. I think this is the first time where I actually take a whole 12 squad with me for this stage. And it is harder. Simply because you have those 3 exits that you need to defend and the enemies are not nice enough to gather in one point, so you constantly need to defend 3 different lanes. On top of that we do have the Red King again. And if you saw the normal mode you already know what the Red King does, but if you don't, I recap again. The Red King has 2 skills that we need to be aware of. One is a skill where he will attack the highest HP unit with a heavy physical attack move and will also deal damage in like a cross shape around this character. And the other one is a move where he will focus the lowest HP character and will deal arts damage to him and the surrounding enemies or allies. So what does that mean? We need to have someone with high DP and high defense, and the lowest HP unit should be someone with a good resistance. And also your deployment and your general setup should be in a way that those skills are not hurting a lot of your operators. So actually in this scenario, that the middle of the square is not a deployable field is very good, because you would deploy someone there and you would build around it and everybody would be hit and you wouldn't know why. So they already give you a bit of a hint on what the main issue here is. The recommended level is level Elite 2 level 40, which is actually pretty high. I have my main squad at Elite 2 level 70-ish, and as you can see a lot of those are actually my main squad. And usually I have all the others that I really like in Elite 2 level 40 if they're 6-star. The condition here is that 6 tiles on the battlefield are no longer available for deployment, and those are the bottom 6 fields of this elevated tiles that we see. Which is not a huge deal, because you do have enough to play around this. In my first attempt I actually used those tiles, so I needed to adjust a bit, but it wasn't that bad. What we need to be aware of though is we need to stop the bullies, we need to burn down the Red King fast so we can deal with this damage, and we somehow need to have enough sustainability to defend 3 lines. So let's jump into stage and see my setup. So we need to defend 3 lanes and the enemies are coming fast, so I have 3 vanguards with me. Texas will be the first who will be deployed on top. Siege will come into the middle and Bagpipe on the bottom. The top and bottom are not so hard because you have a lot of slugs coming there, so you can go with someone who has the DP on kill and DP regeneration or refund when you take him back. Next I deploy Nightingale and Hoshiguma, also in the middle looking up. Bagpipe will be replaced later, Texas will be replaced later, so I don't need to worry about healing there. Then I deploy Chen and Eyjafjalla, both looking to the left side. And then I deploy or redeploy Siege and bring out Silver Ash. Now the Red King comes out, so I take away Texas because she would die anyway and I rather want to have my DP. Then I deploy Shining on top and Lurker Look down. Now, as you can see, Hoshiguma is focused by the physical skill and Shining with the arts one. Both can take it. It seems slow, but they can. Eyjafjalla is shooting away with her skill at Red King, and as soon as he's in range, Shen will also deal quite a lot of damage there. I also deployed Spectre at the top in her skill 2, so she won't die and can take care of the 2 enemies that are coming there. And then I deploy Angelina right next to her, because there will be one grey tail that actually comes and annoys me that I somehow need to take care of. In the meantime, Eyjafjalla and Shen took care of the Red King. Angelina activates her skill and slows down and deals damage to the grey tail, killing him ultimately. And with the Red King out of the picture, the rest is easy going. Angelina will take care of the ones in the middle and Shen at the bottom. And we're done. So this was stage 7, and as you saw, the Red King can be quite annoying. His skills are very dangerous if you're not careful. You really need to watch your deployment and your setup, so the units that can take the damage will take the damage while not jeopardizing any other operators around them. That's also why nobody was standing right next to Hoshiguma, even though it would be a great position for a caster, for example. But he would have died in a second. Also, Shining was away from the rest, just so she could actually take the hit without endangering anybody else. If you keep that in mind, you should be able to clear the stage and try to really burn him down fast. Make sure to follow me on Twitter and subscribe to this channel to be notified with any other videos I'm doing. We are close to the end of the X Challenge run and you don't want to miss the last episode, so make sure to subscribe and hit the bell. And also have a look at my other content and the future content coming up. I do operator spotlights, lore videos, challenges, and I also be doing some guides in the future as well. So stay tuned for that. And until then, I see you next time, Doctors.